or FFA Day right here at KSMO Radio, 1340 AM, 95.7 FM. We have former FFA advisor, Mr. Bob Parsons. We're going to go ahead and send you over to that now. Take it away, Bob.
To the first group for FFA Day on KSMO Radio here in 2026, February 27th. I have with me 5 young ladies this morning that are going to share information about their experiences in FFA and agriculture education. First thing I'll do is ask them to introduce themselves and tell a little bit about themselves. You're in school, maybe who your parents are, if you're proud of them, if you're ashamed of them, tell them who they are anyway. But somebody out there probably knows them and likes it. So I don't know where that came from. Don't worry about it. Whoever would like to go first to introduce, and it doesn't matter what order, and you don't have to go in order, you don't have to you just go whoever.
Yeah, I guess not. Go. I'm Molly Cleaner, my parents are Matt and Jennifer Cleaner. I guess I was out of that.
You guys go. Now y'all let me tell you. All right, go ahead.
I am Amy Cleaner. My parents are JT Crystal Cleaner. This is my first year in high school. And I guess I'm proud of them.
I really didn't. Adeline?
My name is Adeline Tilly. I'm Tilly, and I'm a freshman. Proud of this. My name is Abby Carroll. My parents are Ronnie and Amy Carroll, and I'm a junior in high school.
My name is Valerie Johnson. My parents are Heather and Drew Johnson, and I am in 11th grade.
One thing that I always like to start out with, and that's a question everybody can answer, shouldn't have much trouble with, and that's, why did you enroll in agriculture education? Now, I realize here we're looking at juniors, freshmen. I don't think there was any sophomores. Got freshmen and juniors, right? The freshman can remember quite well why she decided to enroll in ag education and become an FFA member. The rest of you think back about that, and whoever wants to go first and explain that, answer that question, go right ahead. Jump right in.
I enrolled in ag education because of the opportunities they give us, and it was a big part of our family, as mom being the advisor and the teacher. Just the opportunities was a big one.
Okay, I'll have some special questions for you. Someone else.
I enrolled in ag because my sister very much encouraged me to do it. And I was friends with Dally, and she said, well, you have to take it. So I decided that it would be a good opportunity. I was also a part of 4-H, so it was kind of a transition into FFA.
Sure is. Good point.
I was also a member of 4-H, so it just kind of was like a given, I guess, to enroll in FFA. Also, I want to go into vet school, so all of the ag benefits and scholarships sounded like a good reason to do FFA.
Absolutely.
I've been growing up on a farm ever since I was little, and my parents and all my siblings have done FFA, so, and I'm also, what's your guys' name again? 4-H. 4-H, I was in that, so I thought I might as well do ag. Then lost my mind.
Well, it happens. It sometimes gets all off the train. Have to work at getting it back on the train, so that's quite all right.
You know where I was getting at?
Yeah. I feel like most of our answers are the same, but I as well was in 4-H and was showing in the expo and like went into FFA not really knowing what I was getting into. It's a good, very good experience, and I wanted to do more, so I joined FFA.
And in most of the cases here, we either had a sibling or parent that was involved in ag education, FFA.
My dad.
So, yeah. We were talking as we got to school, and Molly and Emma came over, and we were visiting a little bit and talking about the fact that the Fleeners and ag education and myself have a long, long history with the Fleener family, and even clear back with some of the family that was Fleeners, like Shapers and Grandma and Grandpa.
Way back. It's way back.
Way back. Let's move over to talking about some specific FFA activities. So far, and again, I realize Adeline hasn't been involved in quite as many activities as a junior has for being a freshman. What's some of your favorite activities? And don't just say it was WordAC. I want to know, and the audience wants to know that's listening, why was that a favorite activity? What about it?
My favorite activity this year so far has been fall speeches. Me and Abby both got to participate, and we placed first at area and got to move on to districts, and then I got to move on to state. And it has helped my public speaking so much. Like my freshman year when Mom sent me here, I barely could get out of the car. I was scared to death, and it's much better now. So public speaking, you always get to see friends that you were competed with in freshman year, and then now you're a junior and you guys are still competing with each other. It's super good.
And you've identified, I think, the one leadership skill that ag education FFA maybe does developing in high school students and providing the opportunity for that development. You know, the opportunity is there. If you don't decide to seize it and work with it, then you cannot realize the full benefit. And obviously, you've been able to do that. I need to be quiet. You guys, go ahead. Someone else.
My favorite activity that we always do, we haven't started yet, but the CDEs and LEEs that we do every season, the contests and everything, I absolutely love doing those and going and meeting with everybody, seeing friends that you used to have, learning new things about like what your actual thing is. Like we did food science last year, and I learned so much about just like the food industry that I didn't know that I needed to know, or was like, really, that's how that is. And then the fall speech, I did that for the first time this year, and that was a really cool experience. I think everybody should have to experience preparing a speech and then giving it in front of a panel of judges, because it really helps your public speaking.
You develop
Everything, yeah.
self-confidence.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun at the Green Hand Motivational Conference because it's just like, it's crazy, like in our little groups, like I didn't know anybody, and it's crazy how fast like FFA can like bring people together. Like we all knew people who knew each other or talked about FFA things. So just, I think it's cool that we can all come together and talk about FFA.
I think my favorite thing was beef days, to show that the kids like the safety around tractors, because I feel like that's very important for them to realize that there's a lot of things that could go wrong. And I really like to see their face just light up when they see all of us. And
that's an activity that's so unique. I think it's unique anyway, in the fact that you bring all those. Now, what grade are we working with now?
third grade.
Third grade? Fourth.
Yeah.
Okay, I know it's worked back and forth a little bit between third and fourth grade, depending on some different circumstances. But anyway, for the majority of those kids, even though we live in a rural area, it is still the first experience or exposure of some of them to different aspects of agriculture. Actually getting to pet maybe a calf or a lamb that you guys might have brought in for that particular experience. So it has so much value beyond just the day that you're there, that lots of times I don't know as the community or even students realize the long range benefits of that experience of beef days. Okay, I'll shut up again.
Mine probably is the Green Hand bonfire that we have at like the beginning of the year, because that's like, that gives a chance for like the freshmen or the Green Hands to like see like the upper like FFA members, and everybody's together, everybody plays games, it's all fun, we all like eat, have a meal. It's just like an opportunity, everybody can like meet everybody and then get a start into the
Help those first year members see juniors and seniors, officers as real people, not just as somebody that's earned an office or a position. Change directions just a little bit. What did you find to be the most challenging or difficult part of agricultural education and or FFA? And that's one thing too. Well, we talk about that, and help me remember to come back to that, what you found is most challenging. Can any of you really explain what ag education is and then what FFA is? They're not the same, are they? Can anybody handle that?
ag education is like in the classroom, and then FFA is like your CDEs and LDEs going on trips, your public speaking stuff, like more personal with the kids and not just like in the classroom stuff, which they go together, but they don't at the same time.
Exactly. It's so well put.
Yeah.
They're not exactly the same, but yet they're so intertwined that it's hard to draw that distinction between the two. So, and it's almost the point where you really can't have one without the other. You can. I know you've got some fellow classmates that are in just the ag class and not FFA members, and that's their decision. That's their choice. But they really are kind of missing the dessert part of the offering, so to speak. Okay. I said I want to come back, and I hadn't forgot almost. What have you found to be the most challenging or difficult part of either ag education or FFA, whichever one you want to lay this on? Anybody?
Getting out of your comfort zone is a really big problem for like everybody. And like Dally, for instance, she was like scared to death, and now she took the opportunity that she had to do like the fall speaking and all that stuff, and now she's got it. So really, it's pretty much just getting out of your comfort zone. It's hard for everybody.
I was gonna say something about like public speaking. Like I had public spoke before, but like speaking in front of like people like who I didn't know that were just random people was like a big thing. Like I think it helped me a lot as far as like being able to talk to people I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure Adeline can really relate to this being a freshman, and maybe the other board can remember back to our freshman year. That first day in ag class, when you got in there and there you are, you're R80 student, and over here's an R1 student, and there's an R3 or an R4 or R2. That first day, everybody's like, I'm scared to death of all these people, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know who these people are. How many of you, since that point in time, have found someone that you didn't like at all beforehand? Uh-oh. And now it's a totally different situation. Anyone?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
yeah. Yeah.
And you know, I can relate as an adult. I remember somebody that I was that way towards, and then when I really got to know them, I had a totally different viewpoint of that particular individual. So I appreciate the fact that you guys can relate and have some of the same experiences. Other difficult things about anybody else got anything different you found really difficult about ag education FFA?
I think Molly nailed it right down. The getting out of your comfort zone, and like Mom, Mr. Sanders and Miss Johnson give you like the opportunity to go and do a speech or go to a conference and talk to people, but it's your choice to get up from the seat and go like actually talk to them. So it's on us to do it, and that's such a big deal.
I hope, and I know most of the rest of you, this group here for sure, realize the difficulties for Dally having Mom as a teacher. And I went through the same thing because I have two sons, and they both went through the ag education program. And one of them, he could say Mr. Parsons or Mr. P. And the other one, that was not in his nature. Even though, and you slip up from time to time, but it's, again, I think it's a really strong example of that respect that you develop for, in your case, your mother. That's cool. Anything else? Nobody found the creed difficult. That was easy. If folks on the radio can't see how wide Molly's eyes did pop about the size of a silver dollar. So, I'm assuming that means that creed was an experience.
It was an experience, to put it at the least.
I
I barely did it, but I did it. So, I mean.
I would only remember till that morning, and then I'd have to study, and then I'd probably go up there and flunk it, but.
I got my green hand degree pretty easy. I mean, I did it.
It's it's an experience. But again, it starts out that getting out of that seat, like you mentioned, Allie. It starts that okay, I've got to do this. I don't want to, but I've got to have enough self-discipline to study one paragraph half the night so I can get up tomorrow and present it in class. And it's a test, but it's an important test, and everybody can pass it. I had some students over the years that you would swear if you met them before ag, you'd say there was no way that that student would ever get up and present the FFA creed. And every one of them would. They'd get her done. Get her done. Okay, this group being young ladies, I'm sure none of them found the record keeping difficult.
No, it was pretty easy.
And again, for radio listeners, they're all shaking their heads no. So this is a very sharp group as well as very capable group and good to work with. As we go along, if you think of another FFA activity that you would have liked to have mentioned earlier when we were talking about some that were your favorites, that'd be fine. Just voluntarily put those in. And even now, if you've got some other activities you'd like to explain, feel free to. I think the listeners learn more when you talk about activities than almost anything else, because this is one of the, they may have a first-hand opportunity to learn about an FFA activity or some particular experiment you're doing in ag education, but unless you get out and tell them about it, they don't know a thing about that particular experience that you're going through during your classwork or in your FFA chapter. So if anybody's got anything to contribute there, feel free to, but not, go ahead.
I'd say barn warming, because like for barn warming, all of Area 13 gets together, and it's just really fun, and there's snacks usually, and everybody, I go for the snacks too. But it's just like a dance, everybody dances, we line dance, and it's just like all of Area 13, so you meet like all these people, and like for me, Abby and Dally, we like know some of the people, so it's like an exciting thing to go, and you're like, oh, we get to see our friends. And
where did you hold the last barn warming?
the arm.
At the Arm.
Yeah.
It's been a number of different places.
Yes, it has that.
And we can go back and talk about those that were way before you guys were born. We won't do that.
Another big one is like the state and national convention. Those are like such big opportunities. They have like the expo center hall area where you can go and see like John Deere tractor always has a booth, or like all these different places have booths there. Colleges, lots of colleges. And then, of course, they have the shopping center where me and Abby's bank accounts don't like it.
Yes.
But if you ever get a chance to go to state convention or national convention, it's a good opportunity.
It is. And a person should go to state first.
Yeah.
Because if you go to national first, then state
It's
is
not
good, but it's
yeah.
just not.
Yeah.
It's, it's comparing a basketball game at Salem and a basketball game at Missouri Arena.
Yes.
It's the same. Okay. Any other activities?
I really like how we have the FFA week, because mostly everyone participates in that. And we have like tractor day, which was today, and it's really cool to see all the kinds of tractors the kids bring. And we have like loudest truck, cleanest truck, all of that stuff. And I think it's really neat because mostly everyone participates in that.
Now, I guess today you had a huge tractor day. Maybe.
Oh, yeah.
There was a ton of tractors, and they actually went into a parade.
Yeah.
So we're bringing it to like the little kids. and
Yeah,
all that.
the little
Like,
Please, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Elementary, Little Elementary through there.
That's another thing is like we try to like do stuff like that for the little kids, and like Ag Ed on the Move.
Yes,
like,
that's a big one.
they do Ag Ed on the Move, and like go teach the little kids, and like even the tractor thing. All the kids love it. My mom, she teaches 5th grade, and like they do it up there too, and the kids they love it, and so we try to,
Well, I knew a little before 7 this morning when I came back from the farm, and there's an international tractor sitting at a slot that it must be tractor day. So I'm sure there's a little that was proven out.
I think it's
I have no idea who it might have been, but that was definitely a sign, because you just don't see that every day of the week. In fact, any day of the week except tractor day. Someplace along the line, somebody did mention the fact that, I think it was Abby mentioned that contest teams, career development events are, it's that time that those are starting, and of course districts is not that far off. It's tough to get that started. So who's involved in any contest teams this spring? Either
I'm on the horse judging team, so it'll be my first year, so I'm just very excited about that.
sure.
Me and Abby are both on soils.
Yeah.
Girls.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, that.
That'll work.
I'm gonna do the livestock judging.
I'm not in any this year.
I used to, but I'm not this year.
It's a choice you have to make, and sometimes it comes down to the problem that we have not mentioned, but this group is a very active group, and I'm sure sometimes they have this problem, and that is balancing time and activities.
Definitely.
Can anybody address how you handle that and some of the difficulties that you run into making decisions about FFA activities as opposed to some other activity?
I have to try really hard to prioritize my academics. Because I feel like FFA and stuff is so fun that it's so easy to let it take over your academics, but that's a super important part too. So I just
You
Try and
set those
balance it.
priorities.
Yeah.
Academic stuff, that has to be number one, and then, it's another reason to get all that work, that homework done ahead of time or on time, so that you're not scrambling last minute, missing an activity that you'd like to participate in. All right, any other career development event conversation to add?
Me and Abby, actually, we've been on a contest team, went together for freshman year and sophomore year. Freshman year, we did knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
and we made it to state, and so that it was such a good opportunity. And then last year, we did food science, and that was something. But we ended up making it to state, but that was
That's a tough competition, but
very
in science, there's so many different parts to it. It's
Okay, a
so
little detail. You don't have to go into a lot of detail. What's so difficult about it? What,
4 different
things.
You have
Yeah,
to do 5.
five.
where
Yeah.
you're
Yeah, there's
evaluating
5.
food or
Yeah,
the
like
food
they
industry?
set up like little containers of like spices, or you have to like spell what they are.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's one at the very end is where it's like a group activity. They give you a scenario and you have to like do some math and like make a big poster and like sell it to like the judges.
Yeah, make a problem.
And then
You've got one where you've got 3 different foods set out, and you have to figure out which food is
Yeah.
different. So you will try. They had cheese puffs or something. And you eat one of each cheese puff, and then you decide which one it is. Or 3 different apple juices. 2 are the same. It's different.
then you take a written exam.
Yep. And then there's one. It's it gives you a scenario of something, like a problem that a customer had. Let's say an ice cream company. Their ice cream there was something wrong with it. So then you have to evaluate if it's hazardous, there's something like biohazard or something else. in that. Yeah.
So you're evaluating some actual foods, or judging as well. You're doing a subject matter test on
Yeah.
food service in industry.
Yes.
Get that word out there. Okay, very cool. Good. Switch, unless somebody's got something else to add on this particular topic, we'll switch directions just a little bit. We haven't talked at all about your supervised agricultural experience, your SAEs. What do you ladies have as your SAEs?
My SAE is beef ownership and then beef placement. So my beef placement is I worked at DBarJ Cattle. And then my ownership is I have a few registered Black Angus heifers and cows. And then I'll just pull the calves and then sell them and then just keep it going. And then I also work at Ozark Dental Center on the side. And then I also just started a jam and jelly little business. And so I got a proficiency for that, for agricultural processing.
Are you gonna sell those at the farmer's market or?
Right now I'm just doing it on Facebook and just through a friend and stuff.
So I've got a placement at Dane County Farm Supply. I work there on the weekends. And then I have a steer that I'm going to show at the expo this year. And I started a small business, but I haven't really sold anything there yet. It's a silversmithing business.
Oh,
So I'm going to try and get that up and running within the next probably month or so.
sounds cool.
I have ownership horses, so I have several horses that I do rodeo with, and it's during the summer, so right now it's kind of slow and just keeping them in shape and stuff. But I rodeo
Barrels, poles.
barrels, yeah.
I have ownership of lambs and I breed them and then sell the babies off of them. And I show lambs at the expo. So I have all them. And I work for Dad Flinner Custom Hay in the summer.
Very good.
Mine's just a steer that I raise up, show at the expo.
Okay. That's the SAEs that these ladies carry on. And SAEs are a requirement of ag education. In fact, I should have had this written down beforehand because there are three components to ag education itself. Okay. And there are three circles. Have you girls seen the three circles? You know what I'm talking about. Classroom,
Lab, and effort.
Yeah.
the classroom, which we've already dealt with, FFA,
Yes.
which is actually in the circles, it's the leadership component. And then she mentioned the laboratory, which is the SAE. Those three different parts to ag education and FFA. And this is one of the things that makes it kind of difficult to separate them, in that those three circles are linked together. When Ms. Johnson, Mr. Sanders presented those to you someplace back in your educational process, explained those in quite some detail, but that's what makes ag education a little difficult to separate from FFA, but it also what makes ag education FFA different from any other classroom experience that you have. Now, the other thing, and nobody's touched on this, can anybody just tell me and tell our listeners what else makes ag education FFA different? They let me know.
How much, this might not be what you're looking for, but how much the advisors and teachers care for us and want us to do well and push us.
It's real close. And
Oh, no.
actually, it's part of what I'm driving at. It mentioned a little bit of it before. I think Molly was one mentioned that getting together in that first meeting and making new friends, and for the first year students finding out who the upper class people are and their officers are, and the fact that they can converse with them and we can become part of the FFA family.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah, that's right. There is an FFA family. There sure is. Had a lot of students come in past years for this experience and talked about the fact that, I didn't really have a group that I felt I was going to be part of, but I feel like I'm part of FFA. Well, we haven't answered all my questions, which is a good thing. That means these ladies have contributed lots of answers, and I appreciate that. We're about to wind down this first group. They would like to stay here longer, but we're going to have to get them back for their second period class. Molly's volunteered to tell you a little bit about some sponsors that we really want to thank for sponsoring this day on KSMO, FFA Day 2026 on KSMO Radio and KSMO Media. Molly?
Thank you. Robert Judson Lumber Company, Town and Country Bank, Intercounty Electric Cooperative, Hubs Tire Center, Gar Trucking, Dane County Farm Supply, Farm Bureau Insurance, Willie Strader, K&H Auto Supply.
All right, we thank those, and we'll be mentioning sponsors throughout the day as we meet with each of the group. Ladies, thank you very much. You've done an excellent job. I'm going to send the mic back to Ben and some of our regular programming.
Thank you, Bob. You've been listening to the
I almost
FFA,
said Cooper song.
FFA Day, I should say, right here on KSMO 1340 AM, 95.7 FM. We're going to leave you off with a little bit of music now as we get ready as Group 2. Their class begins about 9:02, and they'll probably be headed our way at about, I'd say about 9:12, maybe a quarter after 9 o'clock. We'll have Group 2 here for FFA Day. So let's take a look, see what we got up next here. Looks like I've got, let's see, Relapse with Zelda right here on your hometown radio station,
Yes,
KSMO.
I
Salem.
deliver it, or I can like meet somewhere.
If I'm not over, I think I'll just drop it off.
I can do
If
that.
I'm not here, I'll always leave money on in an envelope.
Okay,
All right.
and then I'm just on Facebook.
Yeah, that's what,
Yeah.
yeah, I talked to your mom.